Yo, big. Oh, you know, nothing much. I was interested in learning how to do all this crap.
Oh, you want to learn how to torch?
Oh, of course, why not?
Oh, okay, let me Yo guys, it's Harrison from HB Welding here, and I'm going to teach you how to use a good old Oxy-Acetylene torch today. So first of all, when you're setting up your torch, you want to make sure that you have the right bit. This is your cutting torch tip. You also have your other torch tips, like your brazing tip, which is also a real narrow one. And then you have your rosebud tips, which this one's broken, but just for the purpose of the video, it's like that, and all it does is really heat material up. But for the purpose of this video, we're learning how to cut, so we're going to be using the Oxy-Acetylene torch tip, the cutting torch tip. Now to set up the torch tip, you always want to remember, your acetylene is in a dangerous state when it's above 15 psi. So anywhere above 15, it is in a dangerous state. It can blow up the whole entire tank if you're over that. People do it, but I wouldn't suggest doing it because I've seen it happen firsthand. And your oxygen is also quite dangerous. You always want to make sure that both your tanks are secured before you start torching or even move the cart, because if this falls, this is under high pressure. It gets up to around 2,000 psi. And that's a lot. If this tip blows off, this will take off miles down the road and you won't see it anymore. So starting off, we're gonna set up our acetylene. What you do is you crank your acetylene valve, but you only do it a quarter to a half a turn, because you don't want to because if anything happens, if your torch catches on fire, if your hoses break, you want to be able to come over and quickly shut it off. Now if you come over here, you can read the gauge. This tank's a little bit low, but that's fine. And actually, fun fact, your acetylene tank is filled with a sponge and acetone to make your acetylene gas. So to set your acetylene, you crack your valve open, your acetylene valve open, not all the way, just a little bit. And if you're curious, some torches have letters on them telling you this is your oxygen and this is your fuel. Or you could always just look at the lines. 99% of the time, well 100% of the time, your oxygen's green and your fuel is always red. So you start off with cracking your acetylene, and then you slowly build up pressure. You don't want it to be a little bit over. You want to set the gauges. I like to do it around 7 or 8. Depending on the material you're cutting, you want it either higher or lower, but never exceeding 15. So now that our acetylene's set, we close that valve. Now we open the oxygen. Always open your oxygen valve very slowly, because it's a high pressure bottle. If you open it too quick, this will actually shoot off and your regulator could blow up. So you want to open it very slowly. And then you open it all the way, because this is a dual opening valve, so air will slowly leak out of this knob right here over time. And to set your oxygen, you could either hit the lever or open the oxygen valve. I like to hit the lever, and I usually like it right around 50 psi. And that's your oxygen and acetylene settings. So this is normally some torches have just 2 valves at the bottom, but this one has a 3rd valve at the top. This is just another oxygen adjuster. So you open up this oxygen valve, and then this one will let you adjust your oxygen to keep your flame regulated. Now that we have the torch all set up, we can start cutting. Now, like I said before, you want to have clean metal when you're cutting, but for the purpose of this video, I just got a piece of rusty steel. It's not going to be used on anything structurally, so it really doesn't matter. And it's not that it matters if you cut it anyways. So to set up your torch, you want at least a shade 5 lens. And with welding helmets, you have to make sure that the welding helmet says you can use it for torching, because some helmets do say not for torching, but these are torching glasses. They're shade 5 lenses, so they're good for torching. You crack the acetylene. You don't open it all the way, you just crack it. And usually, so you got a nice little flame going there. So now you open up your acetylene a little more. You don't want to open it all the way. You want your flame, you see the tip of your flame right here, where it touches this brass tip or this copper tip. You want it to be touching that tip. But you don't want a real aggressive flame, but you also don't want a real soft flame. This is all carbon falling off. You don't want something that soft. You want something right in between the two. So something like, about like that, where it's not a lot of carbon falling off of it. And now you can set your oxygen. So your oxygen, what you're looking for is to have a nice, even cone-shaped flame. You clean your tip good, all these cones should be the exact same length. And when you hit the oxygen, you don't want to see these cones change. You don't want them to be longer. Like if it was like that, you wouldn't want to see them grow in length. You'd want to see them all even when you're hitting the oxygen. About like that. Now when you go to cut, what you want to do is you want to heat up your material first. You want to heat it up just a little bit, just to get it a little hot, so do some preheating. And then when you're ready to cut, you want to hover it maybe about a 1/4 inch off the edge, 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch. I like to do about a 1/2 inch. And then now, all right, so you just keep preheating. And you want it to look like a sparkler. Once it starts looking like a sparkler, you bring the torch tip down, and you can make a nice cut.
Now this isn't going to be the neatest cut because I'm not in the best position on top of the fucking container.
You're going to want a nice cut. There you go, you made a torch cut. Now shutting off the torch, older guys will tell you, oh, well, shut the oxygen off first. But nowadays they say cut the acetylene first so that you have no risk of starting an accidental fire or having any issues with your acetylene, and then you cut the oxygen off. And now when you're done making your cut, or when you're done doing whatever you're doing to turn the torch off, first you close all your valves. And you're going to empty the remaining gases in the system. So you crack your acetylene, let all the acetylene go. You tell the acetylene's out when the needle drops to the bottom. And then you can empty all your oxygen. And now you're done. That's how you torch.
Yes, he does. Look at that. That's an attack on the cameraman. Primitive technologies lead to the future of mankind.
There you go. Good. Good. Now pay attention on how he goes about torching.
Look as he graciously gives it love taps, warming it up.
Shut up. Now you notice how when he's torching, he's waiting for it to heat up. He's preheating the metal.
Is he gonna get a Darwin Award? Or is he gonna get a cookie award for being a good, smart cookie?
This ends with good.
Right?
Look at that.
That's.
All right, you can cut it. Give it some oxygen.
Give it. We all need oxygen.
No. The lever.
The lever.
I remember.
Wow. Beautiful. Majestic even.
Nice. Even. Just do another band, take the money and run.
Based.
Is it still on that?
Get your flame down there. Not a lot of oxygen, just a little. Not that? Nope. Come back. Wait for it to heat up. Now send it.
2 minutes. Alright.
If I catch
You won't catch on fire.
Alright, if he catches on fire, it's gonna be crazy.
I'll get the fire extinguisher.
it's not even funny.
It's right here.
No, there's a better one back here.
There's a better one.
It's probably just straight propane. Propane and propane accessories.
It's another acetylene torch.
This is how they killed me.
Is that a water one?
Yeah.
It's leaking.
I know. Just leave it.
Is he really gonna hit that fire?
It keeps you up. Pull it towards you. Yeah.
pulling it. That's not too. I want to see how clean of a setup. What? Are you all going to do one? Yeah, you can do one.
Because this thing sucks.
Good stinky working. The cameraman's shoes are untied.
Well, anyways.
Alright, so that's how you torch cut. As you can tell by those pieces. I hope the video was pretty informal and pretty informational. So, if you're ever getting into welding, this is something that you're going to need to do because oxy-acetylene torches are pretty much in every single welding shop. You're going to need to know how to torch. So I hope that my information helped you. Please bear with me because I am still learning. So I'm not a professional with it, but I'm getting decent at it. I know how to set up a torch pretty well, so y'all have a good night.